How would I go about starting a business in 2025? In reality, I have simple 5 steps that I always follow when I'm starting a new business or considering one. Even investing in one usually goes through the same framework because what I'm looking for is exactly the same and it's quite basic. Hi, we haven't met before, my name is Klim, and on this channel we talk about productivity, economics, business, and what makes your life more fulfilling and your business to thrive. So let's get on with it. The first step I will go about is actually looking for a great founder market fit. What I mean by that is actually what I'm looking for is me or a founder who I'm investing into actually is fit for the job. For example, if a doctor starts a healthcare company, it makes sense. But when a doctor starts a company about accounting, it doesn't make sense. That's at the point where I would ask a question. Why are you actually running this company? Why are you starting it? Why are you thinking about starting it? And what fit do you think you have for the company? Oh, I don't have a fit, but I'm thinking about it because it's a nice niche. Or right now, for example, people starting AI companies left and right, but they have nothing in common with the subject they are starting the company in. Starting an AI company in some place where you're actually not a great fit, you don't know much about the place, I think that's not actually a good idea. The second point, the one where actually it rolls off with the first point, is that usually what I'm looking for is for the founder to be really interested in speaking with a client. What I mean by that, for example, the founder is not a great fit, okay? That's -1. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad business. What it means is that the founder has to be speaking with the clients non-stop. It should be his #1 priority, and all he wants to talk about and present is that he is speaking with the client. I have built up more than $10 million in both of my companies and have successfully exited them. In the case where I started my SaaS company, I had an e-commerce business, so I was a great fit to build my company who offered their services for e-commerce, and I was a great fit. And that's what I'm looking for. Either talk to the customers or be a customer yourself in order to Custdev them. Why is this important? That's the third point. The third point I'm looking for in a founder or in myself is that I'm interested in doing lots of Custdevs. It's a little bit different from the second point where I'm just talking and actually getting the feedback. In the third point, I'm trying to get formal Custdev with the customer. What is Custdev? Custdev is customer development. It's a skill and it's actually a very basic technique to get the most out of the customer on paper, and I recommend reading Mom's Test, a great book about that, to do the right way. The fourth point I'm actually looking for in a founder and in myself is to have a great P&L in the business. What I mean is, P&L can seem like a really scary thing with a lot of numbers and not really much making sense. But in reality, it's extremely simple. What you need to know is what is your revenue, projected revenue, what are your costs, what is your profit margin, and how much profit you have. If you know all of those 4 points, you are set to go. If you know that your unit economics is economics of a single unit sold, makes sense, no problem, go on, start the company as soon as possible if you've met the 4 points before. Below, you can find a link to my newsletter where I talk about all this stuff, as well as a template for a P&L that you can use to basically outline your P&L that you can use roughly. The fifth point that is extremely important when starting a company is to understand what is the end goal. I know that in the beginning it's really scary to set goals and priorities for yourself, but you have to know where to go in order to actually get there. There is a very famous quote: "Planning is essential, but plans are useless." What this means is that you have to plan in order to get somewhere, and it's probably not actually going to be where you plan to go, but that will set a general direction for the ship that you're steering to go in that direction. So without any planning, you're basically trying to go any way you could, but that's not really good. You have to limit yourself, you really have to understand and formally emphasize what are you planning to do in order to get there. And that's the 5 points that I wanted to talk about. If you like this video, I would suggest subscribing to my newsletter and watching this video about making a successful business.